Hey Solomon, I was just thinking, we're sitting here 13 years into this business, 2 office locations. How did it all start?
Great question. So I remember I learned this particular integrated marketing strategy in a class when I was an undergrad. That's where the integrated marketing came from. It is purely textbook. Integrated marketing communications is probably a class for every college still. So I learned that, and I went and bought a domain name. The day after I graduated college, I started the business. It was like that. There's nothing else. I needed to get the college degree because that's what your parents wanted you to do. And that was all there was going to be it, right? So, but at that time, I was already doing freelance work. I was already doing things for people. People already knew me. I was into graphic design. I was into making websites. I would bust out a website at a Panera Bread on a Saturday and get paid like $1,500.
Wow.
Like that was it. And I knew I could do it. And it wasn't that hard. So obviously to me, it was like, okay, well, I got to take this talent, this skill that I got, and figure out how do I get other people to do it. And at the time, I was just using my name. And I said, look, I need something bigger. At some point, it's going to grow beyond me. So then I created OneIMS, and that's where that is. And at the time, it was at my house, my dad's house.
Yeah.
Right? We had a little room, and we would sit there, and I would just bust out whatever I was doing on a PC. I remember very clearly. It's a Dell, because I was in love with Dell at the time. It's big brand. I couldn't probably afford Apple anyway. So I would get that, and I would just get all my Photoshop and everything and do whatever I needed to do and take care of customers. Again, customer service was key. So I would do everything, the project management, the customer service, all that stuff. And eventually I hired my brother. I don't know if you know this story. So my brother, who worked for Coke at the time, that is Coca Cola, Fortune 500, I convinced him to quit his job and work for me.
Wow.
Believe it or not, because he was the closest person that I could have, right? Proximity. I can be like, hey. So my brother becomes my partner, and then it's history. So we moved out of my little room. By the way, I hired my first employee in that room.
Yeah.
He would come to my house and work in my house. And then we hired our second employee who didn't want to come to my house because he's like, look, I'll just better off working at my own house. He would work at his house, and we said, well, we got 4 people now. We need an office. So off we go, get a strip mall office on the side of a highway, because that was our first find. And I think it was like, crap, how are we gonna pay rent? Like, we didn't know. And little by little, just keep doing what you're doing, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. People take notice and they will come to you. And the funniest thing was, this is all in the middle of that crisis. The economy was tanking. And here I am, not even having a clue about what's happening outside. Everybody would say, it's the downturn. It's the downturn. And I just kept saying it's the downturn because that's what I hear everybody else say. I had no idea what a S&P 500 was, or New York Stock Exchange. I am clueless. I'm just like a kid, right out of college. I didn't know what the hell was going on. So I'm like, hey, I can't, really worry about that. And if you hear the downturn, all you do is just keep telling other people there's a downturn.
Yeah.
The downturn was over, and I was still saying it's the downturn because I didn't know. Now I do know, right? That's a different story. But long story short, we moved out of that office. Then we went to an office in the burbs of Chicago, and it was probably 2,000 square feet, and it was definitely a jump up. We probably had 10 to 20 and then eventually 30 people, and it was too small for that office or whatever, and we had to just expand. So we went and got another room adjacent to that, and we knocked all the walls down, and we made this really super weird shaped office that kept going. It was like 3,500 square feet around the whole building, and it was a really great time of growth because we had the space to grow. We could do all the things that we needed to do. We ran different departments. We had the sales department, we had the support department, we had 2 conference rooms. I mean, it was amazing. We would create content at that time. I mean, we had videos after videos after videos made in that office, or all overlooking a parking lot. That was our view, and hey, that was a classic view. It made us. And then at that time, a lot of the growth that we needed had to be from folks that didn't live in the suburbs, because the train would literally stop right by our office. So that was the last stop of the train of the Chicago Transit Authority. And that means that, you know, a lot of people have to come all the way to the edge to work for us, and that was just too much trouble. So we decided to switch to downtown. That's how we went to downtown. And we went and got a bunch of different buildings that we liked, and the one that we wanted had the yoga studio, the workout, the gym, 100 restaurants inside it, a sexy ass entrance, Amazon Go store, and in parking lot on the first floor. And we said, okay, you know what? This is where we need to go so we can find the talent, we can get the people, you know, and they're not gonna have to worry about going all the way to the outskirts of the city for 45 minutes on the train. They could take a quick 10-minute train from downtown and get to our office. And that is all history, my man. And today, like I said, I don't know. I can't think of anything that I could have done differently other than to just keep doing the same thing what you're doing, and people will see, right? And I mean, look, our marketing is our own work. We don't have a sales team with 50 people making cold calls and doing all the things that we do. We have 0 cold callers, 0. Never, ever, ever do we have to go prospect. People find us and they would say, hey, okay, you guys do this. Fantastic. I saw that you did great work. Oh, I saw a website that you did for this person. I saw your ad. I saw this. That's it. That's the story. A lot of it is personal relationship. And I think in this business, the most important part is the relationship. Because if you have a relationship with someone, they're more likely to refer you because of that relationship. And you will never get to that person if you don't know the people, right? And so I think it's really important. People often overlook the relationship and they just look at the project, the revenue, the building, the whatever else. But it is really intertwined with the relationship. One of the biggest things about us is that we are the growth partner. So I have to know my client's business inside out. I want to know what's good. I want to know what's bad. I want to know revenue. I want to know expenses. I want to know if it's bleeding. I want to know how I can help solve it. The less I know, the less I can help. And they're not going to tell me anything if they don't have a relationship with me.
That's true.
If they don't have a relationship with our account managers or customer service rep, they're not going to share anything. We go inside and we can do our surgical procedures and fix things, sew it back together, run traffic, generate leads, and we want to find out, hey, are these good leads? Are they bad leads? Did it convert? Did you close them? I mean, I want to know the opportunities of my clients so that I can help them better. And they say, yes, we did close it and we made $500,000. Hey, kudos, congratulations. How do we do that again? And how do we do that again? I don't need 1 million clients. I just need those that are willing to take the effort. Look, digital marketing is complicated. You can't even train for some of these things. You just have to know. You need experience after experience. So how do you expect a business to figure that out internally? All the nuances, all the tech, all the different things, all the integrations, all the HTML, the CSS, the drip emails, the copy, right? The headline, then the video content and all the things that go. And then inside the ad platforms, all the settings, all the targeting, all the audiences, the retargeting. If you think about the actual complexity of it, I don't know how a small business is supposed to figure that out. Or a medium-sized business for that matter. They couldn't. They wouldn't have the staff to do it. They wouldn't have the expertise. They wouldn't have the analytics. They wouldn't have the copywriter. And so when we get involved, we're fixing all of those things, and we have to go sometimes the extra mile because our clients may not even know what all is needed. So we'll put the infrastructure in place to create the demand or capture the demand of that. And then we'll help them build relationships with their customer, the very same recipe that we have, so they can close business. And so overall, it's us figuring out, not just for our client, is we're trying to figure out what is important to their clients. What are they searching for? What do they need? What is that unmet need of our clients' clients? When you go that deep, it's another world of opportunity. Most marketing companies stop at the first part. We're gonna solve your problems. But I say, hey, why is this thing happening in the marketplace? Where is this headed? And how can you be a leader in that space? How do you create content for those people? How do you satisfy their need?
Wow.
And you go deeper, and then you really understand the whole paradigm. Okay, this is why this industry even exists. And here's how it's going to get shifted. And here's why you need to be in front of it. Here's why you should implement all of these things so you could be prepared should there be a downturn. Should there be a shift, right? Should there be some sort of change in the space? Disruption is everywhere. So you should be a disruptor, and that way you're ahead of the game. You're not behind.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If everybody goes out to disrupt, you'll be relevant in 10 years. But if you don't, you might be gone in 10 years, right? So that's really the story. So I guess to answer the question is, we've just been working hard on ourselves and figuring out where the next stop is. And it just keeps going. It just gets more and more exciting.
That's awesome.
Did I answer your question?
I think so.
Well, I think you kind of know my story because you're family, but you know, a lot of people don't. A lot of times I get in front of an audience and I tell them the story of me sitting in a classroom. They're like, for real? Yes, this came from just being just like a student like everyone else.
Right.
Student of your own problems. I really set out to fix logos, by the way. I was like, these are the most hideous logos in the world. I need to fix these logos. Here I am, I'm fixing like way more than logos. And I understand logos are important, but it's something more important is the business owner, the people that are affected by that business.
Yeah.
Should it grow or should it not? And that is a way more challenge. That is a stressful challenge than just fixing logos. Again, nothing wrong with my branding people out there. I love my branding people. However, I think we just are in a different business.
Totally.